Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Meanahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey peeps, today we're going to take a look at a game that is going to be seeking funding on Kickstarter very soon. That game is called Bitcoin Empire and is from the designer David Thomas. Now, if you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page when it launches. There will be a link up in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section underneath this video. Those links will take you to the page. You can find out more information and hopefully consider backing the project. Now, if you're not familiar with Bitcoins, they are a virtual currency that is gaining in popularity and steam as time goes on and as the internet becomes more ubiquitous. It can be used in a lot of ways just as normal currency can, but the way that you gain it and the way that you store it is very, very different, of course. And I'm not going to go into all the details of that. You can look that up because there is a ton of information, and I'm sure you'll find a lot of information and links and resources on the Kickstarter page itself as well for this game. But let's just talk about the game. So in this game, it's a card game. You are sort of representing storing Bitcoins in a very simple way. You are taking control of a character who is sort of a Bitcoin mogul. You are trying to either store as many Bitcoins as you can with your character or with different Bitcoin exchanges. So let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played with a prototype version of the game. So what you see here in this version may or may not be in the final version. Then we're going to come back and we'll discuss it further. Bitcoin Empire is a competitive game for 2 to 4 players. The goal of the game is to get and keep as many Bitcoins as possible in your storage, which in game terms are represented by face-down cards. The game ends when the last card is drawn from the deck, and whoever has the most face-down cards at that point in storage is the winner. To set up, every player gets a character card. Characters have ranks on 3 different skills: law, coding, and marketing. You also have a Bitcoin storage rating, which determines how many face-down cards can be stored underneath the character. The main deck of cards is shuffled, and each player is dealt 2 cards. There are several different types. Exchanges can be played down as places to store face-down cards, based on the Bitcoin rating. Hack, Lawsuit, and Smear Campaign are attack cards that can be played against an opponent's exchange or character if your ranks in coding, law, and marketing, respectively, are greater than the target's. If successful, all the cards in that storage are discarded without looking at them. Alternatively, these attack cards can be played underneath the character as extra ranks of the applicable icon. Internet Meltdown cards can also be played on the characters to increase their ranks, but the Satoshi card will wipe them all away if played. Also, Headhunter cards can steal an opponent's skill cards. Bribe cards can be played to cancel any attack or the Headhunter. The basic turn structure works like this. In Phase 1, you draw a card, secretly look at it, and place it under one of your storages. In Phase 2, you draw one card from the deck or from your storage and just add it to your hand. In Phase 3, you take an action, either resolving the effect of a card or placing another card in your storage. The game continues until the deck runs out. Now, needless to say, if you are someone who actually is into Bitcoins, meaning that it's something that you either do as you're living, it's something that you dabble in, something that you know a lot about, and it's something that you're very, very interested in, then of course you're going to be interested in this game. But fortunately, it is not just for people who are into Bitcoins. If you are actually just like light, competitive card games that have decision making involved and where cards can be used in multiple ways, then you may be interested in this one as well. So of course, you have the theme of storing the Bitcoins down, but what's interesting about the game is that you can either use your coins or your cards as ranks to increase the capabilities of your character and make it easier for them to attack the other players, or you can and therefore you can use some cards to attack as well in order to set your the other characters back. But it may be more wise for you to try and defend yourself as much as possible with the bribe cards and just try to stow away as many as you possibly can in order to prevent yourself from once you. I think I may have neglected to mention this in the overview, but once you store enough cards on one of the exchanges, it's locked down. So then no one can get at it. So that it might be another viable strategy. Just stow away as many cards as you possibly can in anticipation of an attack as well. And it's just sort of a race to see who can get as many as possible before that last card is drawn from the deck. and there's always things you have to worry about. You can use the internet meltdown cards to give yourself ranks, but then when the Satoshi card is drawn, then things are just going to go haywire and chaotic, and you might lose those anyways. So it's a back and forth of how conservative do you want to be and how much do you want to be on the attack against your opponents, which I'm sure mirrors the Bitcoin sort of society in a way as well. Are there rival gangs in Bitcoins? Maybe. That's an interesting idea for a game as well. So if any of these things interest you, if you're interested in Bitcoins, and if you're interested in a light competitive game with a lot of decision making, you should definitely check out the official Kickstarter project page when the game launches. There will be a link up in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section underneath this video. Those links will take you to the page. You don't have to take my word for it. You can find out more information and hopefully consider backing the project. That is Bitcoin Empire from the designer David Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting our sponsors. Take care. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.